Hello and welcome to Dubai Tonight. I'm Datin Abu Gaida. This week on Dubai Tonight, meet the First Lady of Malaysia, Her Excellency Datin Paduka Seri Rosmah Mansor. As the wife of Malaysia's leader, she plays the part of diplomat, activist and mother of four. Since her husband took office earlier this year in the second largest Muslim country in the world, she's taken on the role of campaigning for children's education and empowering women in the workforce. Well, I caught up with her for an exclusive interview during her recent visit to Dubai. And over the next 30 minutes, you'll hear her thoughts on culture versus religion, her beliefs on why the survival of a nation depends on its children, and her views on gender equality in the workplace. Your Excellency, the First Lady of Malaysia, thank you for joining us on Dubai One Television. Describe to us an average day for the First Lady of Malaysia. What's your day like?
My day like, I wake up very early in the morning, send my husband to work, and then when I have time, I play badminton. I love playing badminton. I used to play when my husband was not the Prime Minister of Malaysia. I used to play like 5 times a week. But now if I get to play once a week, I'm extremely lucky. Then if I don't play badminton that much anymore. I get ready to have my functions, to go for my meetings. When I have time, I meet up with my husband for lunch, and he makes a point to come back for lunch if he has time, or if he doesn't have any appointments outside. Then I have every day of my life, I do a lot of charity work, and because I'm also the president of the Ministers' Wives Association. We call Bhakti. So that takes a lot of my time.
Your Excellency, you're First Lady of Malaysia. You're an advocate for children's education in the country. You're a mother of 4. How do you juggle all these roles?
Actually, I'm very lucky that I've got grown-up children, and my youngest is already in university. They're studying in Washington, Georgetown University in Washington. So that leaves only me and my husband. And my husband being very busy, so I get to do the things that I would like to do and I should do as the First Lady of Malaysia.
What's the biggest pressure associated to or attached to the title of First Lady of Malaysia?
What is most stressful is when we're being a wife of politician, we do have to face certain funny stories. It's normal, I think. All prime ministers or presidents, they have to face it. You have got political foes, you have got political enemies. So these are sometimes it takes a lot on my emotion and my feelings, but as a First Lady, I know this is just one of those that we have to go through, and I never bother, or I never allow it to last that long in my thought. Being women, we're quite sensitive, but the next day is another day, and I think we move on with our lives.
What have you had to go through? Can you tell us something? Can you give us a particular story of a pressure you had to face?
Well, I wouldn't like to say anything specific, but I'm sure all wives understand. All the Prime Minister's wives or the First Ladies of all the countries will understand what I mean. I think we all go through that. I mean, it's not only as a First Lady, but the fact that you're a politician, or even in your career, you do have problems in your own office, you do have problems in your own workplace, but it is a matter of magnitude. The higher you go, maybe the more problems that you have with regards to competitors, enemies, sometimes even friends. So I'm sure you know what it's like, you know. But one has got to be very determined to move on. One should not allow these things to deter you to move on, to do good things for the people, to do good things for your country, especially those in need of your help. Those who are less privileged, and these are the people that you should attend to. And in my case, especially those people who are in the rural areas or the urban poor. So you listen to them, you help them, you reach out to them.
You've said in the past that you're a, quote, first lady who walks 2 steps behind her husband. What does that mean?
Well, my husband loves to see me walking 2 steps behind him. So as a lady, as a wife, I only want to do what he likes me to do. But to me, physically walking 2 steps behind your husband does not sort of make you a lesser woman, doesn't make you a lesser leader in your own areas. But I would not like to overstep his work. I wouldn't like to sort of interfere in what he has decided on. I respect him. I respect him as a husband. I respect him as a man that I live with, that I'm married to, and he deserves it. So this is why I don't mind walking 2 steps behind him. It makes him happy. But what's important, I get what I would like to get. I get it out of him, not for myself, but for the women, or for the cause that I'm fighting for.
What have been some of the most defining moments in your life? Can you give us some of those, or one defining moment?
One defining moment was when my husband had to assume the role of a prime minister. That was the need then. That was the demand of the political situation then. It was full of uncertainty, whether you were going to be going up or you're going to stay there, or anything could happen. And especially when the 2008 general election, where we lost 5 states, that was very worrying to me as a wife to a leader of a country. We had to do something, because we do not want the opposition to get the better of us, because we have been ruling Malaysia all this while, and why should we lose out to the opposition? So that was a very, very a moment that you do not know, full of anxiety, full of uncertainty, and I hate to be in that situation. But after he had assumed the role of the Prime Minister, we felt a little bit more relief, and now my husband could do things what he would like to do for the people, for the country, especially for those who are in the rural areas. That is what his main focus on. We would like the rural people to be more economically independent, much better life than what they were leading before, and not so much dependent on government subsidies. So these are the things that he would like his people to be. This is a challenge, I know, but as a wife, I'm always supportive of what he does. Maybe that's what I mean by walking 2 steps, back of him. I don't know, but as a wife, I'm very supportive with what he does.
And when your husband does not wear the prime minister hat, so to speak, what's his next biggest passion?
His next biggest passion, he loves golf. He plays a lot of golf. He used to play a lot of golf. Actually, that is really one area that he likes, and he likes to excel. But I don't think that's possible now. Of course, he loves to be with the children. He loves to have a good home, a good family, and a very satisfying, when he looks back, that he has done so much for the country. So I think that's what he really would like to see.
On that note, so let me just take a break and come back to you in a few minutes, Your Excellency. Well, you're a patron of children's education in Malaysia. Why did you choose this cause over any other?
It all started from me meeting up with some women who are volunteers, professionals in their fields, professors, the police, children's psychologists. I was more concerned about the increase in social ills in Malaysia, and I think this is also the trend in other countries. Bullying friends in school, and they even went to the extent of killing, and they don't feel guilty about it. And to me, I feel that if this trend is not handled or is not being paid attention to, it can be worse. And Malaysia, we are not a very big country. We are a country not very small either. But what's important, we have to manage our resources well. We have to manage the country very well. We have to manage politics very well in our country. So to me, I feel that this is one of the areas that we should nip it in the bud. We should handle it so that tourists can come into our country and feel comfortable. And and even the people, the Malaysians, should be able to go out and do whatever they want to do and feel secure. So this was how we started, and we said, okay, the drugs were in the increase, the HIV/AIDS, and we said, okay, fine, let's look out. Where do we start from here? And as we were discussing, it took about 1.5 years for us to find out the solution. Like, okay, fine, let's go to basic. Let's go back to the fact that the children. Because these are going to be, they are going to grow up. And we said, let's make the children happy. And we are quite fortunate that we've got some, ladies who are working in UNICEF, United Nations, and they came back and said that, look, let's start with the children. Let's make them
you
happy.
say that the development of children ensures the survival of a nation.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's Malaysia doing to uphold that theory?
Our approach is that every child should be precious. It doesn't matter whose children they are. So, and he said, learning should be fun. It's no more this giving stress to the children, shuttling them from one tuition to another, one class to another, And they're children. They have to enjoy being children, because we may not realize that they are being so stressed up by what the adults want them to do. But we have to realize that they have to enjoy being children. And this is really our approach to our education for the children below 5 years old.
How do you guide your own children on education?
I used to tell my friends that I'm happy that my children, thank God, alhamdulillah, they turn out to be, good children. They look forward towards education. But then again, it's also because but we should not take the chance. I'm guilty of sending my children to one tuition to another, and they did express themselves, but they were not heard. Sometimes, when the children are stressed up, then they portray it in so many ways. They kick, the wall, they kick the cupboard, but we think the child is just being naughty. But actually, they're just expressing their anger, they're expressing their stress. So these are the things that sometimes, how the adults understand the children and how the children express themselves can be misunderstood. My children, again, we have to guide them. As parents, we have to guide them all the time. I'm very much in communication with my children. And it's very important that the children should feel that they still have parents. It doesn't matter, the mother may be very busy, the father may be very busy, but it's very important that the children still feel that they have a father and mother, and that's very, very vital in a child's development.
On that note, so let me just take a break and come back to you in a few minutes, Your Excellency. Women in Malaysia constitute nearly half of the population of 27 million people now. Can you talk me through projects or initiatives that Malaysia is doing to invest in women economically in leadership positions?
Firstly, the government is investing in education for the women. There's no limit for the women to get their education. They can, they can go to the school, and after that they go to universities. They're given trainings, courses in, especially in business management, in entrepreneur management. There is not anywhere I see that there's lacking in the government encouraging women to get into the profession. Also in especially in business, that they're given the chance, they're given the opportunity, and they're also given the facilities for them to excel in in whatever profession they want to undertake.
Despite these initiatives that the government has put in place, do you still find that women's involvement in new ventures is still significantly lower than men?
Yes, of course.
Why is that?
I think probably they're not as aggressive as the men, or they don't have as much confidence as they should have, like the men. Or sometimes it's also because of a cultural barrier or a religious barrier. But we're breaking away from that now. The women in Malaysia are getting more and more confident. They're going out to the front line much more than what it was before. They whatever they want, whatever they're lacking in, they voice it out. And we have got various associations of women that engage themselves in business. So these are the things that are available in our country.
So how would you say that female leadership in Malaysia currently stands? How would you evaluate it?
It's still lacking. There's one area that we should work harder. Then, as far as I'm concerned, as a wife of a leader of Malaysia, I can only whisper, but the rest of it is up to the women to prove themselves that they deserve to be where they should be. I think that's most important.
What can women specifically bring to the table that men cannot?
Food. I think
on the business table.
On the business table, I think women are not hasty in the decision making. They may be sensitive, but I think that's something that we have to through with the habit being sensitive. We have to stand up that if the men can do it, we can do it as well. But this is why we of course we are the gentle species. We are very meticulous in our work. We are very committed. To a certain level, sometimes we are very strict. We follow by the rules. But in certain areas, it's good to be very strict. It's very good to be very, very go by the book. But in certain areas, you have got to be very flexible, especially when it involves politics, when it involves the people. That can slow down the decision-making process sometimes. And I've heard this, my husband telling me, but that's only because women are, sometimes they can go to a point where it's non-negotiable. This is what I say and this is it, and because this is what the book says. But the women, to me, I feel they're not really high-risk takers. They always play it safe because, I don't know, because of upbringing or because of the culture. But this is one area that we have got to overcome.
Is that because of culture or because of religion, you would say?
Probably both. To me, I feel that it is culturally, yes, but culture is sometimes influenced by religion. So these are the two areas that. But I wouldn't like the women to overstep their responsibility or their duty as a woman in accordance to Islam, in accordance to what Quran has said, because we're all guided by the Quran. So you have got to know how to balance it, and so that you're not being seen as going against the finer teachings of Islam, the finer teachings of Al-Quran.
But what do you see is the biggest hurdle facing women getting to the top?
Well, I wouldn't like to say it's men, but we know where our position is as women, and according to Islam, we know where our place. But what we want to express, or what we want to bring forward, is that we deserve to be there. We deserve to be there. Don't discriminate us. you know, we are not taking the positions of the men. We're not saying, oh, we want to be just like the men. But in important positions, we want the men to be fair to us. If we deserve it and we qualified, we are able, we are capable, give us the position. I know this is something quite difficult to do, or what I'm expressing is may not be liked by the men, but in our country, the men are quite what do you call? They listen, or they're quite sensitive to our plight, and I hope you know, they will be much more sensitive than what it is now. I'm very positive with regards to that.
Women's rights in the developing world, it's an issue that's really gathering momentum. What in your opinion is the most pressing matter?
Women should be empowered. Women should be heard. Women should be given the chance. Women should be taken seriously. I think that's very important. Don't just ignore the plight of women. They have to listen, and what's more important is to take action, how to overcome this plight.
So how would you say that female leadership in Malaysia currently stands? How would you evaluate it?
It's still lacking. There's one area that we should work harder. Then, you know, as far as I'm concerned, as a wife of a leader of Malaysia, I can only whisper, but the rest of it is up to the women to prove themselves that they deserve to be where they should be. I think that's most important.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of Malaysia, wife of Prime Minister of Malaysia, thank you very much for talking to me on Dubai Tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode. Send us your comments and your questions to dubaiTonight@dmi.ae. And to watch any of our shows anytime online, you can log on to dubai1.ae. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.